am gonna say that this video took a long time to prepare because I went back and I made a whole list of everything I paid from everywhere. Hi guys, my name is Deanna. I'm a dietitian, and today's video I'm gonna tell you exactly how much I paid for my nutrition degree. Before we start the video, I do want to preface and acknowledge the privileges I had because I want this video to be helpful and relatable to you. So I do want to say that throughout the college years, I did have the privilege of staying at home with my parents, meaning I didn't have to pay rent. And I know that's a big factor that many others may not have, but I just wanted to put it out there. So when you're listening to this video, you know exactly what's going on and how money is kind of being managed to pay for this degree. Basically, I didn't really want to go to college, but in the Arab culture, you have to go to college. So I did go to college, but I made it a deal in my head that I am not taking out any loans at all. If I had to take out a loan, I was not gonna do it. So basically, I had to kind of get a little bit creative with how I was going to pay for college because my parents are not gonna help me with that payment. I wasn't going to ask them for it anyways. So I had to figure out a smart strategy to put myself through college and not have any loans whatsoever. So this is what I did. Since I was 17, I was working, and I did work throughout college. I was working most of the time full-time, and I did transition to part-time towards the end. Another thing that is very important to note is that I did qualify for financial aid. So this is a huge factor in paying for college. It definitely helped a ton. So that's definitely something that you want to check out. See if you qualify for FAFSA and go on the website and fill out the application. I want to make it super clear. I know there's a deadline on the FAFSA website, and I'm telling you from experience, every single time I've applied way later than the deadline, and I still got the money. I'm not sure if I got less than what I could have, but I'm just telling you that even if you think that you missed the deadline, go ahead and still apply for FAFSA because you will get something. Now that I stayed at home, I did not have to pay rent. I was working throughout the time, so I was making some type of money, even though it was $9 an hour to begin with. And then the third thing is I did have financial aid. So these three things helped a ton. First choice that I made was to go to a community college for my first 2 years and then transfer out to a university. I'm gonna tell you guys, I do recommend that, especially for a nutrition degree, because the prerequisite classes, you can find all of them in a community college. It's not like you're doing like architecture and you have a 5-year program that is specific. So you can definitely do this with nutrition, and I highly recommend it because there's absolutely no difference between going to community college and doing your microbiology and all of those undergrad and before you get into the actual nutrition stuff versus doing it in a university, because you're just gonna be paying a lot more. I think it's triple the price per credit. I am not sure, but it is definitely significantly more. If you're wondering, well, I got financial aid, why would I care where I go? This is why. So financial aid will give you a set amount of money, and your tuition is a set amount of money. So if your financial aid gave you maybe like $2,000 per semester and your tuition is $1,000 something, the rest of it you can pocket and use for materials like textbooks and whatnot. If your tuition was $3,000, then you have to pay that difference, right? So you want to think strategically, and that's what I did. I went with a community college where I paid less, basically in the beginning, those beginning years of college where it's just like prerequisites. I basically made nothing out of pocket. I am gonna say that this video took a long time to prepare because I went back and I made a whole list of everything I paid from everywhere. So I did the fall term, I did how many classes I got, the tuition and financial aid, what I paid, and all of that. So that took a long time because I had to go back in time. I had to get all these receipts and put it in this beautiful chart, but you're gonna be surprised. So that's kind of tip number one, is go to a community college those first 2 years and then transfer out to a university. Make sure that you're looking at the university's classes and taking those same classes in the community college. Don't just, wing it and take whatever you want, because the point is to take those classes that you need at a cheaper price. Okay, so you have to kind of be your own financial advisor. And honestly, all the financial advisors at a community college, I would not recommend. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Another thing that was helpful is I started working at Chipotle almost in the beginning of my college life. I started from a crew member, and then I slowly worked myself up to a store manager. So in the crew member ages, I guess you would say, I was pretty frugal with everything because I wanted to save up just in case I need to use my money for when I went to university, or if I needed something else, because my financial aid didn't cover everything. I was super blessed because eventually Chipotle adopted this program, or this benefit you would say, of tuition reimbursement. And not only just any tuition reimbursement, it was 90% tuition reimbursement with class materials. So how tuition reimbursement works basically is that you pay for the classes out of your pocket, and then after the semester ends, and if you pass those classes, then you submit, your finances and all of that, and they give you 90% of your tuition back. So that was a huge blessing. Tuition reimbursement program started, again, like I said, way later after I got hired. So I kind of just truly got blessed with my job adopting this benefit. And it was right when I started the university that it started. So all of my community college, mainly it got paid through financial aid. I'm looking at the chart here if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Mainly got paid through financial aid. I paid some things here and there, like one semester I had to pay $130, another $657. But like I said, since I was working, I was being very smart with my money. I was able to pay that out of pocket. It was not breaking the bank. So I'm gonna show you here, if you guys want to take a look at it, college I went to, the amount of credits, or classes, not credits, classes I took, what the college charged, and what financial paid, and what I paid throughout this time, okay? So here's the juice. With going to a community college for 2 years and then a university for 2 years, a nutrition degree costs around, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm saying, around $26,765.67. The reason I said around that amount is because I personally went over my credits in the college, in the university, and when you go over your credits allowed in the university, you get charged double per credit. So that happened to me, and I highly don't recommend it. Definitely work with a advisor at the university, right? Not at the community college. You can, check one out, but you always want to compare everything to the university's curriculum, because that is what's gonna get you graduated with the degree, not anything else. So I flopped some classes, and I could have worked a little bit smarter, but I had to take over my credit amount, which is why it came out to be around that amount. Now, this is not what I paid. I'm just telling you right now, this is what a degree would cost, an undergrad degree. This is not what I paid. I said I'll discuss the housing in the beginning of the video because most of the time I did stay at home. Now my university is an hour away, and at a certain point, I think like one semester or two, I had to go almost every single day. So that was extremely taxing. So I decided to split an Airbnb with my sister near the college. So that cost, I didn't include in any of this. This video is only about what I paid for tuition. It does not include textbooks. It does not include anything else, just the tuition. So I just want to have that in mind because it's still money out of my pocket, which affects how I paid for the degree. Because remember, I had to pay first the classes and then I would get reimbursed for it. So for example, one semester I had to pay $5,000. One semester I had to pay $3,000 depending on how many credits I took. So I had to have that money on hand. So that is an important part. You have to have the money on hand, and then you will get reimbursed for it. So how tuition reimbursement works with financial aid, with Chipotle speaking only because I don't know any other company's policy. They want to know any grants you have or anything else that has been helped to you, because they are not going to pay that. So they will pay any difference. So I'm going to give you guys an example of one of the fall semesters that I took that Chipotle and financial aid helped. So it's fall 2018. I took 7 classes in total. My total was $3,082.37. So that was my tuition from the university. Financial aid was only paying me $1,792. So as you see, it does not cover the whole tuition. So any difference, I would be submitting for reimbursement from my work. Another thing that is really helpful is not only applying for financial aid, but also looking at your university scholarships and seeing what you qualify for. Because trust me, you will be paid out. I'm not talking about those random million scholarships that are available, which of course you can fill out. I filled out some, I didn't get in any, I stopped worrying about that, so you could do whatever you want. But I do, and can speak from experience, from these scholarships from the university, whatever you meet the qualifications, they will pay you out. So that definitely helped a lot, because financial aid did not cover everything again. So I had to really pull from anywhere that I could. I extremely and highly recommend getting a job that has tuition reimbursement and read what the percent is. Now Chipotle offers 100% reimbursement, and I know a lot of different places like even Walmart offers 100% reimbursement. So you want to seek those jobs. Now, what I paid for my entire degree, with getting reimbursed, with getting financial aid, with everything else, this is how much I paid. $2,239.37. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I'm extremely grateful for everything I had and everything, all the strategies that I learned and all the money saving tips that I learned and everything, to get that total down to that low, because again, that's like 90% off what the actual cost would be. And I was able to graduate with 0 loans, just like I wanted. I was also able to graduate with an amazing job experience. Like I said, I was able to work myself up to a store manager. Of course, going to school full-time, working full-time is really, really, really tough. So that's something that you also want to consider. The most important thing was not having loans. So it really depends. It did take a toll on my mental health for some time. But this is just what I wanted. I did not want any type of loans, and this is what I got. So yeah. Oh, having this knowledge in mind and having physical proof that me, a random girl from Florida, was able to get my tuition to be that low. But I've exactly told you how I did it and what I did. I just want it to be a little bit relatable and maybe inspiring for anyone who thinks it's not possible, because it definitely is possible. Again, I did not have any financial help from anybody else, other than not having to pay rent, which I know is a big burden on many people that have to do that. Another thing is I'm not married and I don't have any kids, so I know these things have to be considered. But for a young person who's just starting out in college, just finished high school, and you want some tips on what you could do to graduate with zero debt, here's what it is. So, go the cheaper route. Go to a university that's great, that has a great program, but start off with the cheaper route, because I'm telling you right now, microbiology in a university and in a community college does not matter. There's no difference. It's the same knowledge. I promise you. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it benefits you somehow. And please leave a comment down below if you have any questions about anything at all. Alrighty, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe button, please, and I will see you next time.